students, staff, and distinguished guests, welcome to our Veterans Day Assembly. We are honored to be in the presence of the many veterans who are with us here today. In 1918, at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, an armistice was signed that defined the end of World War I. This Sunday marks the 100th anniversary of that historic event. Veterans Day, each November 11th, honors all of our nation's veterans, those who returned home and those who did not. Please join me as we watch the video titled Defenders of Freedom.
Thank you for honoring our veterans as a collective Falcon family. During this assembly, several teachers from our Social Studies department will introduce our guests. Now, please stand as the DuPage Honor Guard presents our colors. Remain standing as former Wheaton North principal, Vietnam veteran, and Purple Heart recipient Ralph Hetherington recites our Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Jim Corneliuson singing our national anthem.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, oh, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ring clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
we honor and recognize those alumni who have fought for this country through 2 plaques which stand inside doorway number 1. On those plaques are listed the names of the graduates who served in the armed services. Those plaques are our words of gratitude and can only begin to show the infinite level of appreciation and respect that we have for those that are our very own Falcons for fighting in conflicts to preserve peace and freedom around the globe. Today, the Wheaton North community would like to recognize our special guests that are here to honor Veterans Day with us. First, we would like to recognize and honor all those who've served in the military who are here with their presence today. If you would please stand as we call your individual branch of government, it would be appreciated. For those who have served in the Army. Thank you. And the Navy. The Air Force. And the Marines. We would additionally like to recognize our guests from the district office and those that are joining us from the school board, especially our school board president, President Jim Broman, who has served in the United States Marines. Thank you, Jim. We would also like to thank Rudy Keller, a Wheaton Central graduate from 1974, for his assistance in organizing and coordinating this assembly, and Mr. Mike Green, whose help was paramount in helping Wheaton North secure a relic of American history. Thank you, one and all. On December 7th, 1941, the battleship USS Arizona was bombed about 15 minutes into the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, killing 1,177 sailors and Marines. About 900 of those individuals could not be recovered from the ship, and they remained on board. Today, the USS Arizona still rests where it fell, submerged in approximately 40 feet of water just off the coast of the island of Oahu, Hawaii. With the assistance of Wheaton North alumnus Mr. Mike Green, stepson of Don Stratton, a survivor himself of the USS Arizona attack, and the efforts of our principal, Mr. Biskin, Wheaton North is honored to be one of 2 high schools in the state of Illinois to receive a portion of the USS Arizona. This relic is now located within the glass enclosure inside door 1. It is there to remind us on a daily basis of the courageous sacrifices of those sailors and Marines during the attack on Pearl Harbor. Wheaton North would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to the U.S. Department of the Navy and Mr. Green for their role they've played in helping secure this piece of American history. Thank you very much. We will next be treated to an a cappella arrangement of America the Beautiful, which was written in 1895 by Catherine Lee Bates. Performing this patriotic song is our very own chamber choir.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed
two of your senior classmates have already enlisted in the Marines. Please help us in recognizing both Miguel Brito Amador and Anthony Indelli. Please, young men, stand and be recognized. In addition, we would like to honor the spouses and children of our faculty who are currently serving our nation, including Lieutenant Commander Chris Verzosa, husband of Miss Parkash of the World Language Department, as well as guest teacher Susan Riberty's son, Josh Bruns, Wheaton North alum and midshipman in the Navy ROTC. Please join our orchestra as they perform My Country 'Tis of Thee, while keeping in our thoughts family and loved ones who have fought or are currently serving our nation. We recognize all Wheaton North alumni and the 3 Falcons who have recently given the ultimate sacrifice to our nation. In chronological order, Nick Larson, class of 2003, U.S. Marines, killed in action, Iraq, November 9th, 2004. Medal of Honor recipient, Robert J. Miller, class of 2002, U.S. Army, killed in action, Afghanistan, January 25th, 2008. Samuel T. Watts, class of 2010, U.S. Army, died as a result of wounds incurred in action, Afghanistan, May 19, 2012. We also use this time to recognize all servicemen and servicewomen who have given the ultimate sacrifice, to honor and remember all of our nation's finest that have given their lives for our freedom. We welcome Christopher Coombs to play Amazing Grace, a hymn published in 1779 by John Newton.
Thank you, Mr. Coombs. Medal of Honor is our country's highest and most prestigious personal military decoration. It is awarded to recognize our military service members who distinguish themselves by acts of valor. Today, our society applauds a variety of superheroes, but here today in our gym, we have a true American hero who saved the lives of his fellow soldiers as he placed his own life at risk. I'm honored to read this citation awarded to Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant Alan Lynch. And it reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his own life, above and beyond the call of duty, Sergeant Lynch distinguished himself while serving as a radio telephone operator with Company D. While with a numerically superior force, quickly and accurately assessing the situation, Sergeant Lynch provided his commander with information which subsequently proved essential to the unit's successful actions. Observing 3 wounded comrades lying exposed to enemy fire, Sergeant Lynch dashed across 50 meters of open ground through a withering hail of enemy fire to administer aid. Reconnoitering a nearby trench for a covered position to protect the wounded from intense hostile fire, he killed 2 enemy soldiers at point-blank range. With the trench cleared, he unhesitatingly returned to the fire, swept Area 3 times to carry the wounded men to safety. When his company was forced to withdraw by the superior firepower of the enemy, Sergeant Lynch remained to aid his comrades at the risk of his life rather than abandon them. Alone, he defended his isolated position for 2 hours against the advancing enemy. Using only his rifle and a grenade, he stopped them just short of his trench, killing 5. Again disregarding his safety in the face of withering hostile fire, he crossed 70 meters of exposed terrain 5 times to carry his wounded comrades to a more secure area. Once he had assured their comfort and safety, Sergeant Lynch located the counter-attacking friendly company to assist in directing the attack and evacuating the 3 casualties. His gallantry at the risk of his own life is in the highest traditions of the military service. Sergeant Lynch has reflected great credit on himself, the 12th Cavalry, and the U.S. Army. It is with tremendous honor on behalf of Wheat North High School that I welcome Medal of Honor recipient Sergeant Alan Lynch to address our Falcon community.
It's always kind of fun for me to address students this time of year, because there's 2 things that have happened. Well, one thing's going to happen, the other thing has happened. One is Tuesday we voted. And Wednesday morning some people woke up really, really happy. And other people woke up not so much. Some people thought 2 years ago, when they woke up on Wednesday morning, that the world was going to come to an end because their candidate did not get into office, and a candidate that they didn't know too much about and didn't like got in. And it's interesting. See, in this country, we get to change our government pretty much every 2 years. Every 2 years, we vote in elections that change the legislature of the United States and of our state, because we live in a republic, a constitutional republic. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic, a constitutional republic, where our rights are protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. In fact, when all of us who serve this country go into the military, we raise our right hand and we solemnly swear that we will protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Why are we willing to do that? Why are we willing to lay down our lives to protect this Constitution? Because it is the Constitution that gives us our freedom. It's not the politicians, no matter what they may promise you. It is the Constitution. It is the Constitution. That gives us our rights. You see, right now, we've had a change in the House of Representatives. And there are people going, oh boy, this is great. Now we can get things done. And other people are kind of afraid to say, no, that's not a good thing. But here's the thing, here's the real deal. First, Our legislature is divided into two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Both have to agree on legislation for it to get passed. They can't just pass laws willy-nilly. That's important to us. And if our legislature went nuts and started passing a lot of bad laws, we have a president that can veto that legislation, and it would take 2/3 of the House and Senate to override it. And even if that went out of whack and we got a president and a legislature that tried to pass some things, we have a judicial branch that would make sure that those laws are constitutional. See, it's the Constitution that is the final authority of what becomes law in this country. That's why it is so important. And that's why we defend it with our lives, with our bodies. That's why men and women go off to war to protect our Constitution, because that's what keeps us free. And as long as that Constitution is in place, no one person, no one party can ever take away your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, your right to keep and bear arms, your freedom of assembly. No one can do that. That's why, from the Revolutionary War forward, we have always fought to protect our way of life, which is ingrained in our Constitution. It is not a living, breathing document as such. It sets down in granite, in cement, your rights and my rights, the rights of minorities, whether they're a part of a race, a religion, or a political party. Our Constitution makes sure that everyone is equal. I mean, think about it. In the Declaration of Independence, it says, in part, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Our Constitution, the preamble to our Constitution starts off like this: "We, the people of the United States of America, in order to form a more perfect union," you read the rest. The Gettysburg Address. 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth from this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether this nation, well, you read the rest. See, here's the thing. Every generation that has come up in this country has a responsibility to protect and defend that Constitution, whether you're in the military or whether you're a citizen. Good citizens must know the Constitution. Good citizens must know our history with all of its warts, with all of the bad things. This is a phenomenal country. We made a lot of mistakes, but we have always tried our hardest to correct those mistakes. Men and women have died, have been maimed, have lost arms and legs and sight and sanity to make sure that you will be free. To give you this gift of freedom, you did not earn it. It was given to you by those who have come before you. Soon, very soon, it will be your turn to lead this country. And you need to know about what this country is, not what people tell you. And I know I'm going to make somebody a little bit angry today, but I'm going to say this. You're not being taught American history enough in this country. in these schools that you attend. So it is up to you to learn your history. And don't just cherry pick it. Learn the bad stuff. Learn the good stuff. Learn these wonderful documents, the Gettysburg Address, the preamble to our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. Learn what they mean. Fortify yourselves with knowledge so that when someone comes to you and tries to lead you down a wrong path, you can say, nah, I know better. See, everybody is trying to manipulate you, trying to get you to believe what they want you to believe. And unless you have knowledge, you will not have power, because knowledge is power. You have to learn about this country. It's going to rest on you very soon, sooner than you think. You're going to graduate, and you're going to move on, and you're going to become leaders. We have fought so that you can be free. Soon, it will be your turn to keep your children and your children's children free. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Alan Lynch. It is truly an honor to have you here to represent the countless number of veterans who sacrificed so much so we can enjoy the freedoms of American democracy. Next, the Armed Forces Medley will be performed by our Wind Ensemble. It is a salute to the services and honors each branch of the Armed Forces with its own various song. It is customary for all in attendance to stand when the service song of your or a relative of yours branch of service is played. God Bless America was written by Irving Berlin during World War I to elicit blessings and a peace for our nation. Enjoy our wind ensemble, Sinfonia 1 and 2, Varsity Women's Choir, and Chamber Choir as they perform God Bless America.
For our final performance, we invite Vinnie David and Josh Becker to perform taps. Please stand and remember all of our military personnel who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for your participation and attention during today's assembly. Thank you to our Students Supporting Military Services Club, who invited the veterans to attend today's program. Also, thank you to our Military History Club and our Rho Kappa students who helped us build 250 flags and plant them on our campus as part of Wheaton North's Healing Field. Flags are made available for purchase by visiting the homepage of our school's website. Veterans Day offers a chance for reflection, to understand what words like freedom, sacrifice, patriotism, and resilience really mean, and to honor the individuals who best embody them. This Veterans Day and every day, please reflect and honor the service and sacrifices made on the part of our armed forces members and their families to provide the freedoms we enjoy as a nation. Please join me in one final round of applause for our honored guests as they exit